To get us started recording. Cool. Hopefully you guys can hear me. We're actually showing up this time. So actually, let me, hold on. I think Facebook is still open. So I've got that sound happening. All right. So welcome. We're going to go a little bit through the LuLaRoe opportunity, talk about me, talk about some of the people that got you guys on this call, and a little bit about the company. There's going to be a couple videos along the way. And then throughout, feel free to write questions in the chat pane, and we will get to them at the end. There's a whole frequently asked questions portion of the webinar that I'm going to be answering stuff that people have asked me previously that we've put into the slides, but I want you guys to ask any questions, bar none. So don't feel uncomfortable, just ask away, okay? So a little bit about the team's origination. So our team, our bigger team, originated out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, and started with Catherine Ripley, who then recruited Tatiana Hill. Catherine Ripley is Team Fancy Pants. Tatiana Hill created the team Dream Catchers, who then recruited Hannah Ross, who is my sponsor. She is Team She Rose, and I, Amber Cebull, signed up under her. And then Heather Grimmer, who a couple of you are on because of, signed up under me. So I've been doing this for just a little over a month, not too long. I have 5 teammates. 2 of them are in the queue. 3 of them have onboarded. I believe last month 2 of them onboarded, and then Heather just onboarded. So we're a pretty new team, but we're growing really, really rapidly. I'm sure you have a little bit of insight on LuLaRoe and know how quickly the company is growing. So a little bit into everyone. So we'll start with my sponsor, who's Hannah Ross. She's been doing LuLaRoe for only 9 months, and she's doing incredibly well. She was a stay-at-home mom, but became a work-at-home mom after she started selling LuLaRoe. She's got 2 kids, and she does both. And she's a trainer. She's got about 20, I think she's 23 people under her now, which, I mean, we just did, this presentation isn't even updated. We did an opportunity meeting, in-person meeting that I had this one at. And so she signed up 5 people since then. My dog just burped. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. So me, I'm also a mom of 2. I own a small marketing consulting business where I consult on digital marketing. So this kind of happens to be perfect for me since it's online based. I onboarded literally just over a month ago, I think like a month and a week. And my sales have been awesome. I think to date, my sales are at almost 20,000, but yeah, so it's been pretty good. I actually, yeah, and this is updated too. I actually have 3 consultants, 5 consultants on my team, or 2 consultants that are onboarded on, 3 consultants that are onboarded on my team, and then 2 that are in the queue. Sorry about that. And so Heather, I wanted to talk about because she sent a couple people into the webinar. She is managing an organic grocery store right now and has an infant named Jordan. She is actually one of the people that got me into LuLaRoe, and I kept trying to talk her into it, but she was like, I don't think that Eric is okay with it. And now he's like her biggest advocate, which is awesome. Like, she sends pictures of him all the time, looking for supplies for her and helping her out. So that's been really cool. She's trying to replace her job so that she can spend more time at home with Jordan, because I'd say that's her biggest why. Make sure you guys put yourself on mute when you come in. Okay, so this is a video, and it's a little bit long, but this is kind of like the LuLaRoe. Like, it really is a great description of LuLaRoe and everything the company represents. So hopefully you can hear it. I don't know if that's too loud.
My mom was she taught classes on womanhood, how to be a better wife and mother. She had a degree in home economics, and she could sew and make patterns. And I remember she was so thrilled. She got to go to LA and go and buy a bunch of clothes for wholesale, and that she'd have to sew anything more. So that's where I really grew my incredible love for fashion and for, watching her excited about, oh my gosh, you can get this and this and this, and it's a really great deal. And if we all go in on different things, we can buy a lot for little. And it was a great experience growing up with that atmosphere. I had shown up at the swap meet and nobody was buying these incredibly gorgeous, high-quality dresses that I'd seen in all the high-end stores. I just had this thought, well, I know all these other women that have children like me. Let's invite them all over and they can go shopping. And we did this sale and I was shocked. I was shocked at how many people came and I was really pleased. So it was obviously a huge amount that day because I was able to buy enough to start doing the business.
We kind of put our heads together and she said, well, there are other women that, that have talked to me and said, can I do what you're doing? And as we talked it through, we recognized that the dress parties had been such a blessing in our lives, and how much of a relief that had been when times were a little bit tough or when things were difficult. We always knew we had that little bit of a backup. And we talked about how many women would like to have that same opportunity, and could we provide that opportunity for them?
I feel like from where we started at 3 years ago to where we are now, to say it's been a movement is an understatement. It's been like a tidal wave. So I have around 1,000 girls on my team. I have 28 girls that are direct to me. Deanne's influence on me has been pretty life-changing. In the beginning, I am a very outgoing person. I am very, I'm pretty confident in myself, but there were times when I wasn't in my business, and I didn't always know what I was doing, and I wasn't sure even stuff like how much to reinvest and how much to pay myself. And there was just so many questions in the beginning, and I didn't have anybody really to go to. And so I was able to call Deanne on the phone, and I would leave those phone conversations. I would hang up thinking that I could be president. I could, run the whole company. I could do whatever I wanted to do because she just makes you feel like that.
Deanne is a light. She has been a light in my life since the first time I talked to her on the phone when I decided that I wanted to know more about LuLaRoe, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was so lucky enough, looking back now, I can't even believe it, how the stars aligned that I actually got to talk to her on the phone that day. Because talking to her on the phone is what made me take the leap. And so as I've built a team, I want to be that light for other people. I want to inspire them, and I want them to believe in themselves. And I tell them all the time, Deanne believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and I cannot believe the life that I have. I'm living my wildest dreams. If I can be that light for you, I want to.
She would call me and say, I need you to go get more fabric and get it down to the sewers. And at the time, I'm working as a contractor. I was out in Santa Monica,
and we just made it work. In the very beginning, we didn't have money, so we learned how to stretch every penny and try to figure out what is the best way to use our money. I wanted it to be simple and easygoing for anybody. I didn't want to come across as, hey, everybody, look at me, I'm just so got it together. I needed to be attractive to anybody at any stage in their life to be able to do this business.
We don't have too much LuLaRoe around here.
Never too much.
It says, ain't no party like a pop-up party. I might have to wear that to my event tonight.
Lindsay has been part of my team for over 2 years now. I met her at a little vendor event down in Eatonville. She was selling furniture, and we kind of hit it off and had a party. And she has been wildly successful. And like I said, I didn't start out right out of the gate super successful. And so I think that I could have felt a little bit intimidated or a little bit nervous. But she has been the hugest blessing in my life. Every time that I have needed something, she has been there. Every time that I've needed encouragement, although I'm her sponsor, we're just the best of friends. She has shown me that I can believe in myself, even when I don't feel like I'm capable. And she has never made me feel like I have failed her. We just have a really great partnership.
Let's see what I got. I want to keep this. Brittany Comp is my super, super up line. Even though she's kind of a couple of lines up from me, she's really accessible and sweet. So there have been times where we've chatted on the phone, and I messaged her this morning saying that I was really nervous, and she was able to provide encouragement. LuLaRoe has impacted our family in so many different ways. We were looking for schools, and there was a private school that I really loved. We thought it was a great fit for our family. And I remember showing my husband the tuition amount, and he laughed out loud. It was just such a joke because it was so expensive and out of our price range. And so this year, when we moved back to Texas, I was able to pay for both of my older kids to go there next year. And it wasn't a big deal. I had the money in my account, and I wrote the check, and it was just really neat that because of LuLaRoe, I had money to send them to the school that was not even possible last year. So even my husband, just seeing him be an encouragement and a support, just see how much he believes in me, that I can really make a difference with this business. That's the great thing about it, is I'm just a normal mom of 3 kids, but I've become a business owner, and I have a team, and I'm able to just travel and do so much, and I can see LuLaRoe just doing that for even more women.
When Mark asked me, what is it that you think will help other women to succeed in this business? My first thing was money, because we can't stand there isn't enough to take care of the needs of our children. And we know that we have something to offer. We don't want to leave our homes. We don't want to leave our children. And we don't want a boss that tells us what we should and shouldn't do. It doesn't matter what kind of personality you are. If you have a desire to believe in other women and you want to see others to succeed, you're going to succeed.
Brittany Comp and I have a lot of fun together. She's my sponsor. She and I are very similar in that we just go for things. And, it wasn't a lot of coaching in the beginning and a lot of help in the beginning. It was more like, you've got this, girl. Now go do it. I feel like I'm in a community, and I feel like I am a part of something huge that is truly changing the world. I had a couple friends say they thought I would enjoy LuLaRoe, and I didn't really get what it was. It sounded weird, leggings parties. I didn't understand. So I kind of brushed it off. And then I got invited to a party in July, and it happened to be a party that Lindsay Wheeler was the consultant for. When I walked into that party, it was like this little spark kind of lit, and I went home with 2 full bags of LuLaRoe, and that little worm in my brain that would not go away. And I decided, I'm going to do it. I don't have the money to do it, but I'm going to do it. It was addicting to say, oh, look what I did. And so started August 15th. In October, I paid a phone bill. And then I paid for my son's birthday party. And then I paid for all of our Christmas gifts. In February, when we went on the cruise, the morning of, my husband got laid off. So we were at the airport. And he got the message, and he'd been with them for 19 years. Being with LuLaRoe allowed me to, instead of play the victim and go, holy cow, what are we going to do? I was able to be the wife I probably wouldn't have been this time last year. And then it was kind of like my husband started to see how this was changing me, and I was finally getting back to taking care of myself. I know so many more community members now that I never knew, because I kind of just focused on my kids and focused on my family. And now
I know so many more people. And Lindsay helped me to be able to look at it that way.
This is the culmination, basically, I feel like, of all the hard work of starting LuLaRoe and the doubts that came with it. And would this work? Would I be selling off all those boxes that I got just to get out from under this? And it has turned into my dream. If this was just clothes, people can buy clothes anywhere, and they do buy clothes all over. But it is the connection. It is that relationship that makes LuLaRoe so different, and helping them find things that make them feel beautiful, that they feel confident that they can come to you and ask for your help, and that they know that we're going to be there for them to help them and be that support system for them.
Literally, I think the sky is the limit, because if you had told me 2.5 years ago that I would be standing here doing this, I would have laughed at you. And so I don't even feel like I can say, oh, well, we're going to be here, because we always surpass where I think we're going to be. All I know is that I am thankful every single day that I joined this company and that this came into my life. And I know that the Lord worked that out for me to be where I am right now, because it has been completely life-changing.
We're here to make everybody feel important. When they come to a LuLaRoe pop-up boutique or a sale, or they go online, they need to know that we, as a LuLaRoe consultant, have their best interests at heart. We take things for granted. Many of us do. I think beauty is incredible, but it's not everything. Beauty on the inside is everything. I think that if you are giving and you care about other people, it's gonna really show in who you are. She left this earth at a very crucial time in my life. I know she's proud of me. I know, because I'm so much like her. She loves everything I'm doing. She is who I am. I do everything because I know I learned it from her. And she's the one that said I could.
So yeah, hopefully you guys are still here. Thanks for watching that. It always gets me every single time, that video. But it's a good one. They changed the end a little bit, so I'm sitting here crying. Anyway, so to go on about LuLaRoe, the mission statement is, where through fashion we create freedom, serve others, and strengthen families. It's a place where lives are being blessed and dreams achieved through confidence, purpose, and growth. And they live and breathe that every single day. What's so cool about this company is that it's always about the consultants and it's always about the mission. Everything they do on the calls, I worked for a lot of people in the past, and I was not very good at working for people, because I think that their mission never rang true in their day to day and everything that they did. But with LuLaRoe, it really does, and so that's kind of something that's really cool about this company. So let's talk about the clothes. There's another video on this too, but it's much shorter, don't worry. So you might know, or you probably know, in the past they had made, like 1,200, 1,500, then it was 3,000. Now they make 5,000 of each print, because now it's actually almost 30,000 consultants now. So they divide those 5,000 prints among 30,000 consultants, and the pieces are pretty one of a kind. Like, unicorns. It's hard to find pieces that you want. You're going to have something unique that's much more unique than anything anybody else is wearing. So just kind of to go into how these clothes are made, this is, I believe, their newest video. I apologize because this one's external, so we'll have to stop it afterwards.
check the capacity in Vietnam and China, see who could take this program on.
Oh, why did it stop?
Feed this to the dog right now.
That's so cute. Oh, I love that one. That's perfect.
Sweet. So that's kind of the life of a product. Just to give you, I mean, because you guys see the front end of it. You see all of the online pop-ups and all the in-person pop-ups. You don't really see how it's made, and it really is. They're completely unique. The guy, the bald guy in the beginning with the beard, he is the lead designer, and he is a former designer for Anthropology. So it's definitely really good stuff. There's from a trends perspective, this style of LuLaRoe is going nowhere. They're going to continually release new things. I mean, you guys have seen it with the Joys and the Carlys and all of the new kids stuff. Like, they're just going to continue to explode. So why? It's really important that when you consider starting a business, and anybody starting a business, not just with LuLaRoe, but with anything, that you have your why behind it. You know what I mean? Because you can just sell stuff. That's totally cool. You know, you can sell clothes, or you can sell it to make a discount, or you can sell it because you want some money. But unless you have like that mission, like LuLaRoe has their mission in their mind, unless you have your mission in your mind, then it's not going to work for you long term. So your why can continually be evolving. And for me, I have, a couple different whys. But you have to kind of decide, why am I doing this? For my teammate Heather, that literally she's got her online launch or her live launch tonight. For her, it is to be able to spend time with her daughter Jordan, because that's the most important thing in her world. And so everything that she does is going to be for that why and for that cause. And everyone's is different. Right now mine is, I own a small marketing business, and it's always been me in the 5 years that I've owned it. And, it's gone through its ups and downs because I had kids throughout that time. And you guys know, your career kind of falls to the wayside when you have children. But, I've never been able to hold on to team members, and being able to grow a team and kind of help them achieve their goals is a huge one for me. And so that's kind of part of my why, on top of the financial success and all of that. But you guys, you have to find it if you're going to do this. You sure, getting a discount on the clothes is great. Like, it's a really good discount, but that can't be your entire why, because once your closet fills up, then you're done. You know what I mean? Like, save those couple of prints, not to mention you don't even have control over what you're getting. So just think about, why am I doing this? What do I really want? Is that financial freedom? Is that making it so you can stay home with their kids? Is that, contributing more to the finances and achieving the dreams that you guys have, an amazing house, a boat, a different school for your children, whatever that is, just think about it and think of how LuLaRoe can help you achieve that. So this is a video. So I told you about Tatiana Hill. That is, Hannah's my sponsor, and then Tatiana's her sponsor. She's a friend from high school. So Tatiana made us a video. This is actually for the last one, but about kind of her why, how she got started into LuLaRoe, and just a little bit about everything. And I think it's a really good kind of synopsis of everything. So I apologize, it's another video, but you're going to like it. Here she is.
Hi everyone. I am so glad you're here. I really wish I could have been able to tune in live and answer questions and chat with everyone live, but I actually ended up having a last minute pop-up. So I wanted to just do a little short video and introduce myself. My name is Tatiana Hill. I am Amber's upline. So if you were to join our family, I would be your upline too, kind of like your great-grandmother. And so basically, if you're watching this video, it means that you have a piqued interest in LuLaRoe. And so I'm really happy that you guys have taken the time to learn a little bit more. It has been one of the best things that I have ever done for myself, one of the best things that some of my colleagues have ever done for themselves, and I just cannot speak enough about this awesome company. So a little backstory, I joined LuLaRoe in March of 2015. I was a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 little kids. At the time, my son was 3 months and my daughter was about to turn 4. So I definitely had my hands full. But there was just something missing in my world. There was definitely a puzzle piece missing. I never really wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That's kind of just what organically had happened. And so I definitely was feeling a little unfulfilled. And I got invited to a pop-up. And I didn't know what LuLaRoe was. So I Googled to see if I was even going to go to the party. And I could not get the thought of the clothes and the business out of my mind. I thought, this is so cool. Like, this is totally something I could do. And I thought maybe like, oh, what a fun hobby. So I brought the business plan, concept, idea to my husband. We were climbing in bed one night and I said, I want to ask you about something. And I brought it up and he looked at me and he said, no. And he rolled over and he went to bed. And it was probably one of the most important conversations of my life, one of the shortest, most important conversations. I was up all night that night. I couldn't get out of my head. I was so upset that he didn't listen to what I was telling him. He just shut it down really quickly. And it was costly. I mean, I understood that, but I knew that this opportunity was huge and I couldn't let it pass me by. So I went back the next day. I said, I want you to sit down. I want you to look me in the eyes and we're going to have this conversation. And I laid out the whole business plan and everything, all the information. I had it printed off, ready for him to look at it. And I basically ended the conversation after I pleaded why it was such a great opportunity and why I was going to do so well. And then I basically ended the conversation with something along the lines of, so I'm going to get a credit card and I'm going to do it, whether you're on board or not. And I hope that you're on board. But if you're not, I'm still going to do it. And he ended up kind of green lighting it. I don't think he was very happy about that position, but he gave the green light and I have never looked back. So I got my inventory and I had a great launch party, and then I really had nobody to kind of take over from there. And so I had to get out into my area. I live in Virginia Beach and I just hustled. I went out and I networked and I met a ton of people and I just spread LuLaRoe everywhere. And it has been one of the biggest blessings in my life. I've grown so much as a person. I've evolved. I definitely feel more fulfilled. I'm happier. I've made some amazing, amazing friends. And I'm not only owning my own business, operating my own business, and selling amazing clothes, but I'm helping other women do that too. And I'm helping other women achieve goals and dream big. And it's just amazing. I mean, we're literally in LuLaRoe, we are blessing lives everywhere we go. And it's really exciting to be a part of it. So you can see I've got a ton of stuff back here. I'm getting ready to unload my car and head on it into an in-person pop-up. And that's kind of where the foundation of the business started, with in-person. lugging all of your clothes, setting up at somebody's house, having them invite all of their friends, and it's so much fun. And now you can do online sales and Periscope and live sales, and that stuff is really great too, but it's really nice to connect with the foundation of the business. And so keep that in mind when you're thinking about whether you want to do this. It's work, but it's totally worth it. It's really worth it. And another part of the business, sorry if I seem spacey, another part of the business is building a team. And like I said, helping other women achieve goals and dreams. And there's an amazing compensation plan put into place where that's concerned. And Amber had asked me to go ahead and share with you a little bit about that. So I can't speak for other people, but my check last month from my bonus, and you get bonus out on your team's production from the company, my check last month was $8,900. So that's an $8,900 check for helping my girls succeed. And my sponsor had a $40,000 check for a month of helping girls succeed. So when you hear those numbers, I know it's really hard to wrap your head around, but they're real. They're real numbers. My colleagues are making anywhere from, $5,000 to $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month. Some of the top leaders are making $120,000 to $200,000 a month in bonus checks. That's not sales. That's not party sales at all. And so if you're hearing those numbers and you're kind of trying to figure out, like, is this real? It's totally real. The company is brand new. I mean, it's a baby company, and that's what happens when you get on board and you help build from the ground level up. So that opportunity is real for you too. I know, especially in Florida with Hannah and Amber and Kaylee, they're some of the first girls in the area down there. And so hopping on board with them is really great to help pave the way and lay the foundation. And then there's a ton of areas all over the country that nobody's ever even heard of LuLaRoe. So it's not, those checks and that opportunity, they're not specific to just the girls who started at the very beginning 3 years ago. Our company is still new and still growing. We're 3 years old. We've got about a little under 30,000 consultants, and we are growing, like I said. But 30,000 is not a lot if you consider it works as about 150,000. Tupperware, Mary Kay, they have a couple million. So if you think about that, there's a ton of room to grow, and we all have different inventories. We all have different stuff, and like the girls at Mary Kay and Tupperware, they all sell the same thing. It's crazy. It's so crazy. But I won't keep you guys, and I have to run in and start setting up. So I just kind of rambled a little bit. It's awesome. This business is amazing. We love what we do. We're blessing back. We're giving back to people. We have a great product that we're selling, and it's a culture. It's a sisterhood, and I would love, love, love to have you guys join us. You're in really good hands with Amber. I've gotten the chance to mingle with her a little bit over the summer at convention, and Hannah, her sponsor, has been with me since November, December, and they seriously, they're awesome, and you guys are in really good hands. So pick their brains, ask a lot of questions, and feel free to reach out to me if you feel like you need more clarification on something. We're part of a bigger team called the Fancy Pants team, and my team is the Dreamcatcher team, so we're a sub-team from Fancy Pants. And our Fancy Pants team does an opportunity call every Sunday. So reach out to Amber, Hannah, Kaylee, myself, ask for the number, and listen to some stories. And like I said, ask questions. We're here. We're open books. We'd love to help guide you as you make your decision, because this truly is a life-changing decision. All right, guys, have fun. Bye.
So that was Tatiana, who is Hannah's sponsor. Hannah's my sponsor. I'm Heather's sponsor if you're on the call from her. And her sponsor is Catherine Ripley. So she's done incredibly well. She had no support coming on, as you heard. Her husband was just like, was not on board, and so for her to have done as well as she has done in the short time that she's been selling it, it's pretty incredible. And it's like she said, it's when you talk about saturation with most direct sales companies, it absolutely happens. But with LuLaRoe, it's different because, like she said, we're all selling completely different things. Our inventory is completely different. And even those that are not directly on our team, here locally or even in Heather's area, are collaborating to exchange inventory on a weekly basis. Literally, I think I'm actually meeting up with reps on Saturday so I can buy some of their inventory because I'm running a little low. And so if you think, am I going to buy this stuff and it's just going to be sitting there, it's not going to happen. Whether other consultants buy it from you or whether your customers buy it from you, you're going to sell it, I promise. And the sky's the limit. You can do really, really, really well with this. So real numbers, real talk. I told you guys already that my sales to date, I actually think they're a little under 20,000. So I started July 17th. I got back from convention on the 17th and literally all my inventory was here. And I just started selling it out of the boxes. Like I didn't have fancy rags, I didn't have anything. And I sold a bunch that night. And then it just I don't think I've stopped selling on a single day since then, whether that's, and I've had pop-ups that are, a couple $100. I've had pop-ups that are $1,000 up to $2,000. And so it's always going to be completely different. And based on your time commitment and based on your individual goals is where you're going to be at. Not everybody has the time to commit to spending, every day, a few hours a day doing LuLaRoe pop-ups. Some people have smaller goals. Maybe you just want to make 1,000 a month. Maybe you want to make 2,000 a month, but the opportunity is there to do it. You guys see the demand, you're online, you're shopping, So numbers are going to be completely dependent on you and how much time you commit to this. Okay. So questions. Here are some questions that I got. Questions that I got from people, just asking them, asking them, what are your questions about LuLaRoe? And then of course, post them in the chat pane and I'll move the chat pane over and look at it after we get done with these. So how much is the initial investment? The initial investment is going to be just over $5,000 for the inventory itself. That means you get it wholesale. Your markup on that is going to be 40 to 60% is going to be like your margin. So of the retail, not of what you bought it for, obviously. And so, if my sales are 20,000, then approximately 10,000 of that is profit. Okay. Just so you know. So that's like $10,000 in a month and a half. It's not bad, right? How long until you get your initial investment back? So this is going to depend completely on you and how you pay yourself. And there's a structure that we kind of use as like a rule of thumb. I have 100%, almost 100%, with exception of supplies and other odds and ends here and there, invested everything back. So I have not paid my initial investment back, even though my sales have been enough where I could have paid it off. So it's really up to you. It can be as little as 3 weeks. It can be as long as 6 months. Just depends. How long till you're making a profit? This is kind of the same question, really, right? Like I could have from the get-go just reordered what I sold and made that 40 to 60% profit, and just put in my pocket and been good to go. And it would have been nice. But, it's dependent on you. I think some people take a certain percentage, they'll put it back towards their investment. Some people pay themselves a little bit and then reinvest in ordering new inventory. That's probably, I would say, the most rewarding way to do it. You're not working for free. So how much time do you need to dedicate to this to be successful? And this is completely up to you. So what is your definition of success? Is your definition of success to sell $3,000 in a month? Is your definition of success to cruise qualify and sell $12,000 in a month? Is it to sell $20,000 in a month? What is success to you? That's what you need to define first. And then, you can pretty much go like your mid-range pop-up is going to be like $600 to $800, right? You can usually bet about that. So if you work your goals backwards from, here's how much money you need to make, double that. So that's how much you'll need to sell, and then divide that by the average sales for parties. That kind of will give you an indication of either how many pieces you need to sell or how many pop-ups you need to do in a week to achieve your goal. And the average monthly income, it's hard to say, right? Because you have what you sell, and then if you build a team, you have bonuses. So those team bonus checks can get pretty significant if you reach trainer or coach or mentor. And we're not going to go into all of that tonight, but we can get into it later if you're interested. Maybe we can do an entire webinar on that. What if I decide LuLaRoe isn't for me? If you don't want to do LuLaRoe anymore within the first year, you can sell all of your inventory back for a 10% restocking fee. I think you can do it much better ways to not pay the 10% restocking fee. But worst case, you get the stuff, you decide, I don't want to do this. You send it all back. They charge you a 10% restocking fee. You're out $500 done. Not bad, right? But the consultants are hurting for inventory more often than you think. The stuff flies off the racks. I'm not kidding. Like On Friday, I was completely out of hangers, and then I had my husband go buy more. And Monday, I had 200 hangers. 150 hangers. And so it's like, it flies off. Like, you think, I'm going to get stuck with this. You're not going to get stuck with it. But worst case, you can sell it to local consultants for wholesale. You can do, like a closeout sale for your customers, sell it all. It's not going to be a problem. Should I worry about oversaturation? We've talked about this a little bit. You don't have to worry about oversaturation. I mean, yes, at some point, if every single person in your state or in your city is selling LuLaRoe, then no, I can't even say that truly, because since I've started selling, I still buy stuff. We see the unicorn prints and we can't guarantee that we're going to get them. So, we get them from other people. So worst case, we'll just all be selling LuLaRoe and buying from each other. Can I return prints I don't like? You cannot return them to LuLaRoe, but what you will find is that what you don't like, someone else is going to love. It's funny because we were unpacking my initial inventory. It was really late at night, and there was this maxi skirt, and I was joking around with Kyle, and I pulled it out, and I go, it looked like it was a green background skirt, and it had these eyeballs on it, right? And they looked like they had red irises on them. And it was just like somebody super tired that was like up at 3:00 in the morning designing LuLaRoe clothes. And I was like, doesn't this look like that? And I was telling that story at a pop-up, and my friend Ginny bought it. I don't know if she's still on here because I can't see who's on right now, but she bought it and she loves it. Okay. And so it's like stuff. And what's funnier is I did a consultant swap and with Kaylee a couple days ago. And she goes, oh, do you want this shirt? I haven't been able to sell it. I don't like it. Nobody likes it. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Everything sells. I'm not kidding you. Every single thing sells. 2 days later, yesterday, I have a pop-up, and this girl bought it, loved it, looked amazing in it. Like, it looked great on her. So it's just because you have a certain taste doesn't mean somebody else doesn't have a different taste. Okay. What makes LuLaRoe different? So there's a lot of things that make LuLaRoe different. Just in general, the uniqueness of the prints. It's so much stuff. This company, everything they do rings through to their mission. It's not about the money for them. If it were about the money, they'd be done by now. Like, this company is 3 years old, and inside of 4 years, they're going to be $1 billion company. Apple, like the Apple company, it took them 6 years to reach $1 billion. So they're not going anywhere. This cause is really important to them. And I think that definitely sets them aside from, even just other direct sales companies. Like, yeah, some of them have great missions, but it's like, there's nothing like LuLaRoe. We don't have to compete with our downlines once we recruit them. We don't have to compete with other consultants in the area. It's awesome. Where can I sell? So you can sell in-home pop-ups. You can sell online, only on Facebook and Periscope as of right now. You can sell at vendor events as long as you get approval for them. You can sell at like farmers markets. There's a lot of different places that you can sell. Just if you sign up, ask your upline and make sure that it's okay before you start selling there. We can't sell at flea markets. We can't sell on eBay or like Craigslist or anything like that. Anything that's going to cheapen the brand, you can't do that. So cool. So building a team, the team structure, I'm not going to go too much into this. The team structure goes, first you have you, and you're just a consultant, right? Then if someone signs up under you and joins your team, then you are a sponsor then. If you get 10 people to sign up under you, you become a trainer. Once you become a trainer, you get a point in the leadership pool, which is basically profit sharing, right? So in addition to getting 5% of what your consultants sell and 3% of what their consultants sell, you get kind of like a profit sharing pool. Then you reach coach, which means that you have 3 separate downlines and 1 trainer. And then you reach mentor, which means you have 3 coaches. So sorry, no. Coach would be 3 trainers. I can send you guys paperwork on this. I promise. It's pretty clear, but it always gets a little confusing. And then once you reach mentor, you've got, I believe it's 28 points in the pool. And then so you can see why these people are earning $100,000 to $200,000 a month checks. It's a real thing. Like, it really is. I got my bonus check last month from having 2 people on board. So my 2 people that onboarded, and it was just under $600. And that was my first bonus check ever. So it definitely, and that's over and above anything I made on sales. So it's a really great opportunity. If you're interested in the building a team part of it, let me know. I can send you all the paperwork on that. If not, you can still make a ton of money selling this, a ton. Just depends on how much time you have. So, oops, this is outdated. I didn't edit this one. So Kaylee did this presentation with us last time. If Heather sent you here, obviously you probably have her Facebook group. Sorry about that, Heather. And then my information's here. Hannah's information is here. Let's go to questions now. Let's see. Anybody have questions? Do you have a book I could look at to see more info? Yes, I do have a book you can look at, whether that's on team building or just joining. I have lots of little books, and then I have the whole kind of like, team building thing. So yeah, I mean, it looks like we don't have any more questions, but I'll hang out for a couple minutes. If you guys want to ask any, just let me know. And I hope you really consider this, because it is an incredible opportunity. And while you may be inside the world of LuLaRoe and it may seem like there are a lot of people in there really aren't. I'm meeting people every day that are walking into my little Lula shop and telling me that they've never heard about LuLaRoe before. And it's amazing. Okay, so the percent you make off your team, it's a corporate match. It doesn't directly come out of your team sales. Okay, so what it is, sorry about that, is what your team members order, right? So it's 5% of whatever your teammates order from LuLaRoe. So it's not going to be their sales. I've heard rumors that in the future it could be that, but it's going to be of what they order from LuLaRoe. And then 3% of what their teammates order from LuLaRoe is going to go to you. So yeah, I mean, it's still pretty good. I mean, in the last 3 days, I myself have ordered $4,500 worth of stuff from LuLaRoe. So I think Hannah's check is going to be pretty good this month. Yeah, so just if you have any questions, just reach out to me. And Hannah's just as accessible if you want to talk to her. Heather is incredibly knowledgeable on this too. If you guys are considering her for a sponsor, I would say that from a LuLaRoe clothing perspective, that Heather might even know more than me, because that girl is like the ultimate unicorn hunter. So definitely just ask us. We're open books, man. Seriously. If you're thinking of doing this, don't think that you have to go crazy, balls to the wall all the time like I am. Absolutely, you can set up an appointment with me to talk about the business. That's what I'm here for, and it's like I don't know if you know me or not. Some of you know me, some of you don't, but it's like my mission in life to help people and to connect people with what they love. I think, something that surprised me before I started doing this is people would always ask me like, I'm looking for a job in this industry. Do you know anybody? And so I think connecting people with their dreams and with their goals is just something that I do. So, just get at me, man. And we can talk about it. We can talk about all your fears. And that's what I really want to know. Like the uncensored portion of this is why are you scared to do this? Like what is preventing you from taking the leap and just like jumping on and doing it? Because I don't want to say it's zero risk, because $5,000 is a lot of freaking money, right? Like that's a lot of money. To me, that's a couple months of daycare. That's a lot of money. That's it's almost 5 mortgage payments. It's a lot, but sometimes in life, like you just have to do it. You just have to take the leap and you just have to do it, because in your mind, you're thinking you're thinking of all the worst case things that can happen, but think of all the amazing things that can happen if you're really, really successful at this. And if you think of that and the financial freedom that you can gain from it and the time that you can gain from it and the reward you can get from helping people, like love themselves again, it's an incredible thing. So I'm going to get off here now unless anybody else has any other questions. But thank you guys. I appreciate it. Sharing this opportunity is something that I love doing. And if you want to know any more, just let me know. Okay. Thanks you so much. And we'll talk to you guys later.